Peace and hello to all. This is S.S.Oracle, Shadow and Soul Oracle. I'm Savvy, here to relay a message to those of the collective who are on path to healing, releasing, and integrating their shadows and retrieving their souls through love and light, which is truth. Ashe to the team, to Source, and to the Most High God, and to y'all. Ashe. So, Anubis, ANPU, the wearer of the scales of Ma'at in ancient Egyptian Kemetic mythology and pantheon. He is the son of Nephthys and Asar. He works with Ma'at. He is the great stepson of Aset. Okay, in the story. So, Aset being the goddess of necromancy, Anubis is the dog of death. Death, of course, meaning and being symbolic of transformation and rebirth. And so we have this activation card here with Anubis ANPU, the wearer of the scales of Ma'at, which is truth, justice, righteousness, order, balance, reciprocity, propriety. Okay. And in the weighing of the heart against the feather, it is symbolic of your heart being true, how true your heart is. And within our heart is emotion, is feeling. And this is S.S.Oracle here, okay? This is shadow and soul. So we get into the soul of things, we get into the light of things. We're really getting deep into the shadows here. And what we're talking about with this message, and it's been coming through heavy for years, okay? And it's about the power of our word, the truth of our word, the power of our tongue, and the usage of the word hate. See, hate has become a filler word for a lot of emotions that lie dormant, repressed, and suppressed within the heart. Because where we actually feel and experience the feeling of frustration, anger, irritation, annoyance, we'll say hate. But really what some of our ancestors of antiquity have told me is that hate in this world, on this planet, has manifested as countless genocides, slaveries, oppressions of all sorts, and crimes, atrocities. Okay? And so when we have become desensitized and traumatized repetitiously and programmed through observing violence and going through our own trauma and being exposed to it indirectly through propagandas and, different sources through social medias and just stories from person to person, this word hate has become normalized speech. And we're prone to using this word in a context in which it's not appropriate. So collective is being challenged to reform their speech around the word hate. And in place of it, using the feeling and emotion that is being pushed down deeper and deeper, and which leads us to not facing these things and not being able to regulate ourselves in a healthy manner emotionally because we're repressing different feelings and instead using hate, which is out of context. The cue is to remember what hate has actually manifested as in this world and reflect on that and ask ourselves, is that what I am? Is that the energy in which I am in? And you would tell yourself no. What I actually experience right now is frustration. What I actually experience right now is irritation. And that may trigger and bring up a lot of memories But that's a lot of the work. Recalling certain emotions, right, that we want to deny and block are because of the many times we felt those things and felt uncomfortable or had no support in regulating them and understanding them. And so those feelings have been replaced with the word hate. And it's a societal flaw. It's a human flaw when it comes to majority ruling. And so when majority rules a certain ideal or belief, it becomes first nature to adopt certain ways of being that may not be appropriate or correct or even healthy. So it's normalized, saying, I hate this, I hate that, I hate her, I hate him, that's a normalized speech. But we take a pause and realize that this word hate has a lot of energy within it that has not been conducive or constructive to healing and love on this planet. Within hate, there's a lot of fear. Okay? Where there's hate, there's a lot of fear. So we challenge ourselves with this word hate and how often we use it. And a lot of the fear in healing is facing those emotions that we refuse and reject and suppressed: frustration, irritation, annoyance, anger. Because they may remind us of times in our life where we've gone through things that were not fair, that were not safe. It is a lot of work. This is shadow work, okay? This is shadow work. So the challenge is to observe and pay attention to how often we feel and utilize this word. Now, there's a place for language. Language is a tool. Language is a tool. So profanity, I would group the word hate into profanity with a bunch of other 4-letter words, okay? But they're tools. We are able to embody an immense and extensive lexicon of language within our minds. And so we are to utilize language that can best convey the experience that we're having. And so understanding our emotions and knowing our emotions is really a key step into understanding ourselves and how we speak into the world and speak to ourselves and speak to others, because words are powerful. Words are spells, right? And so the message here is to activate that consciousness, that higher consciousness, that higher self, that higher intelligence, that higher spirit, in observing what we're dealing with day to day and our attitude about it and our feelings about it and being honest about it. And if it gets to hate and we say, yes, I really feel hate, we take that reflective moment and place a mirror in front of ourselves and ask ourselves what hate has done in this world, and am I that? Is that what I feel, or are there other ways to describe this experience that I'm having emotionally? It's a big challenge. Like I said, we've become desensitized to a lot of things based on what we're exposed to, and nobody's immune to propaganda. We just become more aware of how to observe and how to respond to the things that we encounter in this world. Ashe. All right, I'm going to close it out right here. If you'd like to book a reading or a service, click the link in my link tree. Otherwise, stay blessed, stay in love, okay? And until next time, see you soon. Peace.